Okay, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Uh, okay, so first of all, give me a minute. I'm just doing some setting before we start. Okay, awesome. So let's start our journey for Java Fast Track. Now, basically, we are doing this for 2 days, and which is today and tomorrow, starting at 10 a.m. And we are a bit late, 5 minutes. We are doing some setup so that we can survive for 2 days. Okay, and we got our snacks ready so that we can survive actually for 2 days. Okay, uh, so what's the plan and why we are doing this 2 days live class? See, initially it all started. Okay, just a second. I just need to check my mic. This is not connected. Okay, sorry. There's some issue with the mic setting. We are changing the mic. Here also in this. How do we change the mic? Um, am I audible properly? It was using some different mic. So we are live on two different platforms. Here, how do we check the mic on? Okay, cool. Audio is low. Previously it's good. Now it's not. Is it? That's weird. Uh, okay. So initially it was picking some other mic. It was picking my camera mic, and now it is picking the main mic, and the camera got disconnected from here. I think it's picking. That's fine now. That's fine. The audio was better before. It's good, right? You're listening on YouTube. Okay. It looks good on YouTube. Yeah, previous one was a bit noisy because it was picking from mic, not from the main mic. How about now? Hello, hello, hello. Is it better? Is it better now? Okay, cool, cool. Okay, perfect. So yeah, as I mentioned, it takes some time for the setup, and it's been a long time we went live on YouTube. Uh, so yeah, it takes some time for the adjustments. Okay, so let's get started with the idea. See, the idea is we are coming up with a new course which is starting from next week, and the course is Spring Fast Track. And the idea behind Spring Fast Track is we normally launch courses which goes for 6 months or 3 months, but then it takes a lot of time to learn those things, right? And we thought, hey, there are some people, they want to finish the course as soon as possible. And that's how we started this full day courses where you can learn things in a quick way. But again, you have to spend the entire day. Something like, let's say, if you want to learn Java. So why not spend 5 days, 5 full days, and in a week you'll be learning Java. Of course, you can't be expert in Java in 5 days, but at least you will know the concepts. You have to practice to master. On the other hand, if you want to learn Spring, maybe it will take 2 weeks if you are spending full day. And that's how the idea started. And we have launched earlier courses with Java, for Spring. And we are coming up with a new course, which I mentioned before, which is starting from next week. The problem was there are people, I mean, most of them, they wanted to refresh their Java concepts because we are starting with Spring now. And to know Spring properly, you need to know Java. And that's where we thought, okay, why don't we just go for a crash course on Java for those people who are going to enroll for the course? And then we thought, okay, anyway, we are doing it for them, right? Why don't we just do it live for everyone so that even if you're watching it on YouTube, in fact, YouTube was not planned before, it was only the platform. And then we opened the course, which was free. And what happened is we got so many enrollments, and our Zoom is saying, no, I can't handle it. So Zoom has a limitation on the number of people we can have on Zoom. So the plan which we have for Zoom is it can only allow 500 people, and the enrollments is much higher than that. So that's the issue, and that's why we are doing it live on YouTube as well. In case if you have enrolled and if you're not able to watch the video or join the Zoom, you can watch it on YouTube. But this video, which is going live on YouTube, will not be available after live. So once the live is over, we are going to make this live private on YouTube, and this will be available only on the platform. And all the notes, all the code samples, all the written notes which we are writing on this tablet here will be available on the course platform. Now, where do you find the course platform? You can check the the description. You will find the link for Java FastTrack. It's free. You can enroll for free, and in the dashboard, once you're logged in, once you're enrolled, you will get all the details. Yes, I can see your messages, everyone, and yeah, I'm going to highlight that as well. Please share this Zoom ID. Okay, so I'm going to do that now. So I think a lot of people are watching it on the platform. I've shared the Zoom link, everyone who are watching it on the dashboard. Join through Zoom, it is much better. If there are slots available. I'm not sure if the slots are available here. I think, yeah, few slots are available. Okay. Cool. Now let's talk about what exactly we are going to do in next 2 days. Yeah, the recording will be available on the platform. So let me share the screen. Okay, so if you can see, which I can't see, just a second. Okay, people watching on YouTube, just let me know if my audio or video have an issue. Okay, so basically, this is our course page. This is Telesco's courses which we are showing you now, and every month or in 2 months we launch new courses. Once we know that the earlier batch is going to finish. Okay, just a second. Okay. Yeah, so once we know that earlier batch is going to over, we start with a new batch. Now, if you can see, this is the free course which we are doing now, and you can enroll for free. And you can, if you want to explore, you can log in on, and also you can click on explore here. So this is what we are doing now, and the second half we are going to start with the other concepts. So we do have a lunch break in between, don't worry. In fact, we need to eat something before we do anything. Is the live streaming buffering? Okay. Can you add, or can you tell Harsh to add the Java FastTrack link in the description, YouTube description? Okay. And you can see this is a course I'm talking about. You can enroll for free here, and you will get some initial videos to watch. And this is where we are starting now. the day one and the first half, second half. And this is the course content. Okay, that's the plan. So let me know in the chat if you are all set to begin with. There is no buffering. Let's go. All set. Yeah. How about YouTube? All set? So people who want to watch on Zoom, check the description. Yeah, this is a weekend course. You can get all the details on the course page. Okay, so who are the trainers for this course? I'll be there, and Heather Abbas, who is one of the amazing trainer for Java, and you will get to know that in next 2 days. Okay, so yes, after the live stream also the course will be available for free. Only Java part, not the Spring part. Spring is a paid course. Okay, to start with, let me talk about the details. And okay, so I'm going to open my IDE. So I'm going to use IntelliJ IDEA. You can use any IDE which you love for Java. And this course is not for complete beginners. In fact, I have started poll on Zoom. Let me just see the poll once. Okay, this is what is happening on Zoom. Oh, sorry, yeah, on the Zoom. And the poll. So people who has zero knowledge have joined 10%. 22 people have joined. Okay, there are a lot of slots are remaining now. Okay, so beginners, 31%, intermediate, 58%. Okay, so this is the course is not for people who have no idea for Java. It's because we are going to jumping on different topics. So if you have learned Java before, or if you have learned C# or JavaScript or any object-oriented programming, then this will make sense. You just have to understand the Java syntax. Cool. And now I'm going to start the screen sharing. Okay. Now, which IDE we are going to use? Of course, I'm assuming that you have installed JDK and some IDE. There are multiple IDEs available for Java. We can use Eclipse, we can use VS Code, we can use IntelliJ IDEA. There are tons of IDE available. The best one is, if we talk about free best one, it is Eclipse. The paid best one is IntelliJ IDEA. IntelliJ IDEA provides a lot of features. The only problem is it is paid, yeah, but if you're working for a company and then company says, okay, we will give you license, that's good, right? And I've seen a lot of companies give IntelliJ license to their employees. So IntelliJ IDEA is good. But then IntelliJ IDEA also has a community version, which is free. The problem with community version is, I mean, it's good, but then there are some advanced tools which we need, which is there in the ultimate version, which is paid version, but not there in the community version. Plus, it directly don't support all the frameworks. For example, if you want to work with Spring, you can't directly create a Spring project in the community version. There's a workaround which we love, and I normally prefer to do that workaround. And yeah, IntelliJ IDEA community version works. Otherwise, if you love VS Code, if you love Eclipse, your choice. All the ideas are good. So I'm going to use IntelliJ IDEA, and I'm opening it on the screen. So you can see I'm using the IntelliJ IDEA community version. So this is the community version. And in this, let's create a project. Now, how do you create a project in the community version or in any IDE by default? So you can simply click on this new project. And let's give a name. We can say first project live. Now, IntelliJ IDEA provides different language supports. We have Java, Kotlin, Groovy, HTML, and you can add some supports there. I've never tried it. I have only stuck to Java and Kotlin. On the left-hand side, if you can see, we also have an option of Spring here. Okay, so on YouTube, you can see two faces there. Never realized that. Okay, anyway. So you can see we got Spring here, which is locked But anyway, we are not doing Spring here, so we can use normal community version. And by doing this, you can click on create project and you got your project here. The ID looks cool and simple. Okay, I have some issue with the IntelliJ Copilot. They're asking me to pay, and I'm going to switch from Copilot to some other tool. Okay, so now if you can see, this is the IDE. Since we are doing it live, I have to check the comments. Yes, you can use Eclipse as well. People on Zoom, is my audio not clear? Looks good. Yeah, it's good, right? Okay, cool. So now this is the first Java code. Now, if you're coming from a language, let's say C, C++, we do have a main method there, right? Now, main is a method. So basically, what are methods? Let's go for a quick refresh. See, in a programming language, the idea behind any programming language is to build applications which will work with data. See, ultimately, it's all about data, right? In fact, the IT, which we say, which is information technology, itself means that you're working with technologies to work with the information. And any application which we use nowadays, if you're using WhatsApp, Facebook, I don't know who uses Facebook nowadays, but let's say if you use WhatsApp, Instagram, Uber, Amazon, it's all about data, right? So even if you're using Amazon to buy something, you're basically talking to the wholesaler or the shop or the seller that, hey, you want this, and the seller will ship it to you. So the way we are using Amazon is for the data transfer. So it's all about data. So it's about storing data, right? And how do you store data? So in programming, you basically use something called a variable. Now, what is variable? Variable basically means a place where you store data. Example, let's say any box. I'm not able to see any box. Let's say I have this box here. This is a wireless mic which we use. So I have a box in which I have variables. I have data. So this is a data. This is a variable. This is a data. And in this variable, I can have multiple data. Any guess what do you call a variable where you can have multiple data? Yeah, that's right. Arrays, right? But normally in one variable, you can store only one data. Example, if you want to store a number, so you can create a variable called num. Name can be anything, but I'm just using a variable name as num. And then you can assign a value, let's say 10. Now, if you want to change this, if you want to have a different, sorry, where was I? I was talking about, so let's say if you want to change this data, in that case, whenever you want to perform some operation, you use methods. In different languages, we call them functions, methods. In Java, we call them methods. In C, C++, we call them functions. In JavaScript also, we call them functions. The same thing in Java is called method. Okay, so this main, which looks like a function because we are defining certain things here. This is a method. And in Java, the only reason people hate Java is this syntax, right? Public static void main. In C language, it's not that difficult, right? In C, what you do is you basically say, I don't know how many of you are coming from C. Let me know in the comments or the chat if your first language was C. And if you want to create a function, it's very simple, right? You can say int main or void main. If you don't want to return anything, you can simply say void main, and you can return, or you can do some certain operations here. It's that simple, right? You can simply say, this is how you define functions in C. It was so simple. I started my first language as C language. It was fun. And if you're coming from Python, when C programmers looks at Java code and says, hey, C was simple. And then the Python programmer says, hold my beer, right? If you want to do anything in Python, you don't create functions. You simply say, you call the functions, right? If you want to print hello world, you can simply say print hello world. So yeah, Python programmers are lucky. The only thing is, initially Java seems difficult because you have to do a lot of stuff. But if you think about a big project, let's say enterprise projects, and if you see in the enterprise projects, there are 10,000 lines of code, not in one file, in different files. In the entire project, you have 10,000 lines of code. In Python also, you'll be having same number of lines. Okay, or maybe the complexity will be same. So Java looks difficult to start with, but it is one of the easiest language to work with, because once you write a Java code, you can actually read the Java code as an essay. Also, let's say you have built a product and now after 6 months or 7 months you want to add a new feature. It's very easy to change Java code after 6 months. Uh, Maintainability is one of the biggest issue with the industry, and people don't realize maintainability. They only think about, hey, we want to build a project, but you have to also maintain the project for years. Example, let's say if you talk about WhatsApp or Uber, they're not new applications, right? They have built 10 years back. And now if you say, hey, I want to update something, if that application is not built properly, it's difficult to update. Because when you build software, you're building like house of cards. It works in the first go, but try to change one card, the entire house will fall. In the same way, when you build application, it works and we are happy, right? You go home, you sleep nicely like a kid, and suddenly next day if you want to change something, you will lose sleep for next 1 week. And in Java, that's the benefit you get. You basically say, okay, this is a code, it is verbose, but you can read it. You can change the code as you want. Okay, so this looks difficult to start with, but don't worry, this is something you will get used to. And in the new updates of Java, they are working with the main code or the main method in a simple way. You can simply write void main and that should work. But again, that is only for the learning purpose. Don't do that in the projects. And people who are happy with this code, Python developers, hey, Python is so simple. Java says hold my beer. So in Java also we got something called JShell. I don't know if you can see the prompt. Yeah, so Java came up with JShell, and let's say if you want to print something, you can simply type system.out.print. I know you'll be saying at least you have to type system.out.print. Yeah, so certain things you have to do. And you have to say hello world. And voila, you can see we got hello world. It's not like you have to write main method, you have to write all those things for learning purpose. Maybe if you want to create a variable, int num is equal to 10, it works, right? You can even print num, you got the value. So whatever you like about Python can be done in Java as well. But again, these are things only for learning purpose. The actual application you build in the IDE. So this is how you define methods. And if you want to execute something, you can simply right click here and say run, and it works. If you can see in the output, you can eat some. You have 10 minutes. Okay, so yeah, so you can see we got hello world here and it is working. So basically what we are doing here is we have this main method in which you are saying system.out.println and you're printing hello world. The ln is simply new line. So it will print and it will come on new line. Volume is high. So I'm reducing a noise a bit, not noise, voice. Is my audio still clear? Okay, I don't know why everything is creating issue today. Maybe because we are going, yeah, I have reduced the voice for a bit. How about now? Okay, so where was I? So this is the first time I think we are going live on Zoom as well as on the platform the same time, or on YouTube at the same time. So there are two different apps opened. Okay, so this is how you print hello world. But Java being an object, in fact, let's try certain things. Example, let's say just for refresh, if you want to create variables, I will just bring my mic a bit closer to me if that solves an issue. Maybe it is picking up the background noise as well. Okay, no problem. It's not loud. Okay, cool. So let's create a variable here. So what I will do is I will create int num, and we have done that in the J shell. And if you have any version of Java which is about Java 9, you have J shell. So just open your terminal and type J shell the way I did here. So if you type J shell, it will open that ideally. Okay. If you want to create a character, you can say char c is equal to, you can set a character like a, and that will be in the single quote. Let's say if you want to use string, you can store string as well. Let's say I want to store string as Naveen. And what else we can have? We can have float values or double values as well. By default, it will be double. If you want to have a point values, let's say 1.8. And what else we can have? We can have Boolean value as well, which is Boolean b is equal to true. And there are different data types which you can use here. Okay. And on this, you can perform operations as well. Or maybe if you want to print it, you can print it. Let's say I want to print my name. I will just say name. And by running this, in fact, you can, since you have ran before, you can simply run it now. And it will give you the output, which is Naveen, right? So this is how it works. Okay. So this is how you create variables, right? And the different data type which you can use, and yeah, normally we use these things. But what if you want to create a type which is different? Maybe you don't want to store a number. Maybe you don't want to store a name. Maybe you want to store an entity. Example, let's say you want all the details about me, my name, my age, my location, my, what else you want to know? My height. So if you want to store all those details, or maybe my score in 10th class, right? So if you want to store all those concepts, and maybe you want to perform an operation. So that's where in C language, if you're coming from C language, we have something called, yeah. So where was I? Yeah. So in C language, basically we have something called structures. In Java, we basically talk about object-oriented programming. So Java believes everything in the world is an object. Example, if you want to call someone, you need a phone, which is an object. If you want to talk, and if you want it to be loud, you need a mic, right? In the real world, we use objects everywhere. If you want to drink water, you got bottles, right? There should be a glass here, but yeah, bottle works. So for everything in the world, you need objects. In the same way, in the Java world, everything is an object. And if you really think about it, if you think in a, what do you say, a normal world, everything is object, right? And if you want to build applications for the normal world, don't you think the application in the normal world should match? Normally, I call my participants as aliens. You know why I call them aliens? Is because I believe that we don't live in this world. I mean, yes, physically we are here, but mentally we are in the virtual world. We build solutions in the virtual world, not in the real world. And to build solution for the real world, we have to connect the virtual world and the real world. The real world works with objects. The virtual world also works with the objects, if that makes sense. Okay, so now how do you work with objects? And that's where we have to understand a concept called OOP. OOP stands for Object Oriented Programming. So basically what we're trying to say is everything in the world is object. So here also we have to create object. So we have to basically create the object. So if you want to represent a person, you can create an object. I know that's wrong. You are objectifying a person. You're objectifying a person. It works in virtual world. Okay, don't do that in real world. Okay, so we got object here. Then question arises, how do you create an object? You create the object with a structure. Example, let's say if you want to build a tower, okay, a huge tower. Of course, you simply can't go there and build a foundation and build, right? you basically go with design first. So if you have seen those designs, the blueprints which we call, so if you go to a contractor by saying, hey, I want a tower here, the contractor will say, okay, what's your need? Give me a blueprint. Based on the blueprint, I can build it, right? So first we need, uh, so first we need to build that blueprint. And the blueprint will build with the help of class. So first you have to create a class, and then you can create the object of it. So I want the object for person to represent me. And that's why we have to create a class for the person. How do we do that? Let's do that after a small break. So let's take a 30 seconds break. Be tired, just need to have water. Okay, just a second. हाँ क्या बोल रहा हाँ मैं बाहर ही पीता हूँ खत्म कर नहीं आ रहा है अभी बना है कौन आ रहा है ना मैं बना के आया हूँ सही चल रहा है थोड़ा इशू है जूम का इसका बार बार वो 2 बार करना पड़ता है ठीक है Okay, I'm back on Zoom and I'm back on YouTube as well. Let me know if you can hear me on YouTube and on Zoom. Yes, got the response. Okay, so let's see how do we create a class first. So what you can do is in the source, if you can see on the left hand side, we got source here. And this is where you can create a new Java class. Now, class is not the only type. You can create interface, you can create record, you can create enum, you can create annotation. Most of it we'll see interface, we'll see annotation as well. But at this point, we're getting a class to represent a person. And I will say a person. Now, as a person has two capabilities. One, a person knows things. Example, I know a lot of things in the world. I know this is called a remote. I know Java. I know my name. I know different locations. So basically, a person knows things, right? And a person also does those things. How do you do things? You do things with the help of behavior, right? You can talk, you can listen, you can walk, you can dance, you can sing, you can eat, right? So you can do all those things. Yeah, we are going to use whiteboard in some time. Once Heather joins, Heather is going to use whiteboard because I need to do certain things before the whiteboard. Not this, movie recording. Yeah, I can use whiteboard now, right? Yeah, but I will do that in some time, not now. Okay. Okay, so now let's do those things. So a person can have the knowledge, a person can have a behavior. Now the way you can represent our knowledge is with the help of variables, right? So you simply create int. Let's say I want to, first it should be name, right? So name can be done with the help of string name. And let's say int age, which is, let's say 34. What's my real age? Okay, maybe 34. It's always 21. Then what's next? What is my, let's say, location? I'll say Bangalore. Yeah, so we can have these 3 details, right? Okay, so we have these three details, and that's how you represent a person. Now, how do I use this person in the main class, in the main file? So this is my person, and I got my T, the source. You need energy for the sessions, right? Thank you so much. Okay, so how do I use this person here? So if I want to represent this person, how will I do it? It's very simple. You can simply create the object, or you can create a variable of person. You can say person, or maybe you can say person p, and that's it. This is how you create, right? And in this, you have this data. Is it? Let's try. What I will do is I will try to print p. Now in p, what it will print? Any guess? Anyone? Will it print my name? I have not entered my name here, right? My bad. Let me say Naveen. So if I say Naveen and I want to fetch Naveen, first of all, it is giving you an error. Okay. It says P is not initialized. See, the thing is, these variables here need to be initialized with something. You can see we got this 10 here. All the variables have some data to it. The P, we don't have any data here. So when you want to create an object, you basically use something called new person. This is how you create an object in Java. So this is the class, and that's how you create the object. And yeah, so we can use this now. And if you try to print P, it will print the address. Let me show you. So run this. It is printing Naveen here is because we are printing my name here. Let me just comment it. And this is how you comment. Let me just rerun this. So it prints the class name and it prints the hexa code of, it prints the hash code in the hexa format. So what you do here is if you want to get a name, you can say p dot name if you just want a name. Like a property in different languages, let's say in, yeah, like a property. So we got p dot name. If you want my location, you can say p dot loc, which is location, and you can see it says Bengaluru. Okay. What else? What else we can do here? Okay, but there's one issue here, which we're going to talk about in encapsulation, which is the concept of oops, and we're going to start oops soon, after a small break of 3 minutes. But this is how you basically create a class. This is how you create an object. And in this class, you can have methods as well. Example, let's say, if you want to know everything about me in one go. So you can say public void, which is I don't want to return anything from this method. And you can say display data. So this is a method, right? So in the class, you can create variables and you can create methods. And here, I'm going to print everything. I'm going to print my name. And I can do everything in one line. But let me just do that in multiple lines. I'm going to print my age. I'm going to print my location. Right? So you got everything here. And now, instead of printing it here, I can simply say p dot. I can say display data. It will print everything. Let's see. Run this. And you got it. So what is happening is we are creating an object. And then we are calling this method, which is display data. And it is printing everything. Cool, right? Now, people who want to learn from Zoom, okay. So what you do is if you want to join this Zoom, if you're watching it on YouTube, check the description. There will be a course link for Java FastTrack. Just go there, enroll, and you will be part of dashboard. Okay, and now we are going to start with the concept of oops after a small break of 3 minutes. All set for oops, everyone? Okay, so, okay, cool. So give me a minute. I'm going to start the timer for 3 minutes.
Live on? All right. All right. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Heather Abbas, and you might have seen me in the Telesco YouTube channel, or if you have learned some courses from Telesco, definitely you might have seen me in the courses. I would like to continue the journey from where we have stopped. So, first, I would like to set the agenda, the objective that what we are going to learn in today's class. By the end of today, what we are going to achieve, and tomorrow, what topics we are going to cover. Someone, if you are extremely new to the world of Java, if you're not able to adapt, there is no problem for that. On Telesco YouTube channel, there is a playlist on Java which you can learn from absolute scratch. So maybe you can just watch some of the fundamental videos there. And the fundamentals of programming are same irrespective of the language. Whichever programming language you take, the concept of variables, loops, operators, they are going to remain same. The fundamental base is same. So we have kept in mind that those who are extremely new, not a big problem. You can also understand, you can adapt. We are going to cater everyone here.
Okay, just a second, everyone. Wrong screen is getting shared.
All right.
This was getting shared.
Okay.
We need this one.
All right, my bad. No problem. I have not yet written anything here. Those who are from the Zoom, not a big problem. So the learning objective is what we need to set for the day. Today, we are going to complete the concepts. Okay, I think it's visible. We will understand little more on the fundamentals of OOPS with respect to the constructor. Then we will see on the concept of encapsulation, which is again very, very important. Knowing encapsulation is good for everyone. And whatever topics we have included in this fast track course is by keeping Spring Boot course upcoming a week, 1 month fast track course we have launched Saturdays and Sundays, morning 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Indian Standard Time, and that will go for 1 month, totally 4 weekends, Saturdays and Sundays. And we have kept that in mind. In general, if someone want to learn the application development with Spring Boot, what are the prerequisites? Java is the prerequisite, and which Java concepts are very important. That is what we have kept in mind. So constructor encapsulation, and we are going to start followed by the concept of inheritance, which you should know about it. Then we will see on the concept of polymorphism, and then we will see the concept of abstract class, abstraction with respect to the abstract class and the interfaces. By the end of today's session, you should be aware of all these concepts. Not just aware, you will be very much comfortable with it. And tomorrow's class, we are going to start the journey from exception handling, followed by collection in the first part. And in the second part, we will focus on the concept of stream API and annotations. Right now, if you want to learn Spring Boot, you must know the concept of annotation, because everything learning Spring framework, no, according to me, is learning about the annotations. They are very, very important. So in the tomorrow's sessions, we are going to start the journey with respect to exception handling. The first topic will be on the exception handling, and then we shall start with the collection. Followed by, we will start the journey of stream API, and then we shall see about the concept of annotations. Okay, this is about the tomorrow session, and this is about the today's session. So fundamentals is what we have expected. Even if you're a fresher, you can understand, provided you know little bit of fundamentals on coding. If not, on Telesco there is a playlist available which you can watch the fundamentals videos on Java, and then you can pick it up with this particular session. And this session will not be available in YouTube after the sessions are over. We will make it private. If you want to access this free of cost, you can just visit to the website courses.telesco.com, and you can enroll. You will be getting the recordings of today's and tomorrow's session, code files, board work, whatever we are sharing, everything will be available. And from next week, Saturday and Sunday, we are going to start the paid Spring Framework batch, which will start from the absolute scratch. Why Spring Framework? What is a funda of Spring Framework? What Spring Framework is trying to solve? The core of Spring Framework, and then we shall start the journey of Spring Boot. Spring Boot is not a different from the Spring Boot is Spring Framework. Easier way to work with Spring Framework is only Spring Boot. Spring Boot is not a new framework. It will give you a structure wherein you can develop the application, Spring application, in a easier way with some extra features. That's it. And we are going to learn Spring Boot only. Initially, we'll start Spring Framework, we'll understand Spring Core, then the remaining all the modules will understand with respect to Spring Boot itself. Data JPA, Data JDBC, MVC, RESTful services, actuators, profiles, batch processing, Apache Kafka, Redis. We are going to cover so many things. The information is available on the website. Now let's get started. We had started the journey of class and the object creation. Fine. And I have kept in mind that you know the concept of methods in Java. So that is what we have been discussing here. So let me just share the ID here. I would like to just share the IDE. How to share in the, here we have an option. All right. Okay, allow me a minute. Where is the IntelliJ idea? Yep. All right. So here is where we had started the journey with respect to, I think the ID is visible on the Zoom as well as on the YouTube. Great. So we have understood the fundamentals, that this is a class. We have the has part of the class and we have the does part. That means what activity that particular object is doing, because Java is an object oriented programming. For everything you have to consider as object. Fundamentally you have understood about this. Great. Now we shall understand more on this. So the best part coming to the methods in Java is we don't have multiple ways to create the methods. Unlike other programming language, we have the concept of, especially the JavaScript and Python. If you're from that background, we have a concept of functions, methods. We have to use some of the predefined keywords sometimes the way you have to write the methods or function is different. It's quite confusing if you're a beginner. Java, it's not a confusing programming language. It is very easy programming language. We have only one concept here called as methods and only one way to create the method. The concept of methods comes into picture whenever you have something to write. You have some activity to be performed, some behavior you want to execute. Example, you are writing the code to add two numbers. A logic which is responsible to adding two numbers is only called as behavior. That is the activity. And if you have any activity, any task to be carried out within a class, you have to define that within a one particular method. Method in Java can be written in 4 different ways. Number 1, you can give a name to a method. Some things in methods is common irrespective of what activity you carry out here. What is that? Name of a method. Number 2, the parameters required. Number 3, the return type and the body of a method. Public is just an access specifier. It is like you want this method to be visible throughout the project. Anyone can invoke this method in the entire project. This concept is related to the packaging. You will understand going forward. But every method will have 4 things. Number 1, the name of a method, parameters required, body, and the return type. 4 different ways we can write this. One way is, you can see this method is not accepting anything. It is not returning anything. What do you mean by that? Whoever will invoke this method, they need not to pass any data. Directly they can invoke. And this method will execute when they invoke, but this method will not give them back anything. Fine. Now I would like to go here and write one more time. One more method I would like to write here. I will say here, maybe public. Okay. And maybe I'll say here integer type of maybe I'll say get some info. Whatever method name you want, you can give your own choice. Don't give the predefined reserve words. You can give any name of your own choice. I have given get information because I would like to give some information. I will say here. Okay, let me just add okay, great. We have the body. And now I will just say here maybe some information. The information could be of any type. This is based on what you are returning. Maybe I will not yet decide. Maybe I'll just give here return. Maybe I will just say here within double quotes, I would like to return. We are coming up with FastTrack Spring Batch. Right. Okay. Or maybe FastTrack Spring Course. Whatever message you would like to give to your end users. Great. All right. So this is the return. And remember, whenever you have the return statement inside the method, the return type of the method cannot be void. Since I am having a return, what type of data you are returning? I am returning string type of data. So the return type of method will be string. I would like to go here and say it is a string. Making sense? So let me just add that here, string. All right, done. So since there is no return statement here, I have written void. I have a return statement here. What type of data are you returning? String type of data. I have given the return type as string based on what you are returning. You can define any other activity within this method. there is no problem. You can write whatever task you want. You can write any number of code. At last, if you see a return statement, you have to define here. So every method, whether you have written this way or this way, things are common. Name, here also we have a name. Parameters required, here also we have a parameters required. Here also we have a body, here also we have a body. Since this method is not returning anything, I have written void here. And since it is returning some string type of data, we have written string here. This way also we can write a method. And whenever you invoke the method, I'll say here p dot get info. I'm invoking this method, and this method will execute whatever code you have written. And when you're invoking this method, it is giving you back something. If you want, you can collect it. I would like to just go here and collect it, whatever information it is giving me. I'll give the variable name as info. You can give any name of the variable. Okay, I've given it as variable name as info. Now I would like to just print that. I will say here system.out. Different IDs, the shortcuts are different, so that should not be a problem, matter of concern. I would like to just print whatever information I am receiving here. Making sense? I would like to just go and run here. If I have to run this, you can see we should be getting it. We are coming up with FastTrack Spring course, right? So if a method is giving you something, you can collect it back. Equal to operator in Java or any programming language is to assign whatever it is there to the left hand side. And one point, have patience for little time. I'll be starting the actual OOPS concept. We have to take care of some of the newbies and we shall start the journey here. A long day. We are trying to cover everything here. So just to catch up some newbies, I'm just giving you brush up on the very fundamental concepts. So this way also you can write a method. I would like to go here and write method one more. Maybe I'll say here public. I will say here maybe the method. I'll say here accept some information. Accept info. I would like to go here and create. And maybe I would like to accept some data here. I'll say here string type of information. This time I'm accepting. All right. I would like to print whatever information. See, sys out. This came because very often I use Spring Toolsuit or Eclipse IDE. In Eclipse IDE and Spring Toolsuit, the shortcut for system.out.println is sysout. But since we are using IntelliJ IDEA, we have the option of sout. I would like to use this. And whatever information I am receiving, I would like to just print that on the console. All right. Fine. And since there is no return statement here, did I write any return statement? No. If there is no return statement, go and just write here void. Very simple. Now, whoever will invoke this method, they have to pass one string type of information, right? Making this arrangement to receive the data, we call it as parameter. When you are invoking that method, I will say here p dot. I would like to say here accept some input and I would like to pass some string type of message here. All right. So I'll say here maybe any information. Please start. Oops, fast. We are waiting for this. Maybe you are eagerly waiting me to start some of the advanced concept. If you know the fundamentals, you are expecting me to immediately start lambdas, stream APIs, annotations. That is what you want to learn. But little patience since we are covering everyone. Remember one thing. Whenever you invoke a method and if that method is expecting you to pass some information, some parameters, some argument, then must and should you have to pass. For an instance, if you invoke display data, this display data method is not accepting anything. You need not to pass. I have not passed. I have invoked the method get info. I have not passed anything here because it is not expecting me to pass. But now accept info is the method I am calling. And this method expects me to pass some string type of information I am passing here. And you cannot collect it back here. You cannot say again here something. Why? Because there is no return statement. If you invoke this method, you can pass some information. I have passed. It will take, it will execute. But in return, it will not give you back anything. So I cannot collect it back anything here. This way also you can write method in Java. I would like to just go and run main method. You can see whatever we are printing. See, please start the oops concept because I'm printing this within the method. So all of them are methods. What are common in three different types of method? We have return type, name of a method, parameters required, body. Return type, name of the method, parameters required, body. Return type, name of the method, parameters required, body. Based on the need and the scenario, you can write methods in different ways, however you feel like. Okay. One more question. After 2 days, will this course go paid? No, it will be free forever. You can go and enroll in the Telescope dashboard. These recordings will be available to you free of cost forever. Great. I hope you could able to understand here. So based on the need, you can write. Based on what activity you're going to write within this method, you can choose how you want to write it, right? So this time this method is accepting. Whenever you call a method, and if that method is accepting some parameter, you are passing this parameter, right? They are passing this data. Data we also call it as argument. So passing this data is called as argument. So call the method, pass some string type of arguments. I'm passing some string type of data that it is receiving, and whatever you want, you can do here with that data. Now I will write one more type of method. I will say here public. I will say here maybe, all right, display some info. Okay. I will say here, all right, maybe I would like to accept here some information and also return more info on course. Whatever method name you want, you can give. I'll say here more info on course. You can give any name to the method, to the variables in Java, but they should not be reserved words. Reserved word in the sense, this void has some predefined meaning. This public has a predefined meaning in Java. So the method name you cannot give void or public. Apart from this, whatever you feel like you can give. But it is recommended, it is a good practice that give the method name based on what activity it is doing. Whatever task you are carrying out here, give the method name same. Example, you are performing addition activity. You have written the logic to add two numbers. Give the method name as add. No, maybe you are writing code which will talk about some information about your girlfriend. Give your girlfriend name as method. Not a problem. You can give anything, right? So whatever you want, you can give. It should not be a problem. Now this time I would like to accept double type of price, right? And I would like to say here maybe I would like to store within a variable here, or maybe I'll do one thing here. I will take here string type of information, one variable, a local variable. Within this I will say here FastTrack weekend spring batch starts from next weekend, and the fees is, I would like to integrate whatever amount I'm receiving. What is a variable name which I had given here? This price. Let me just add that price here. I would like to say here price, and this information I would like to just go here and return. Let me just go here and say next, and I will say here, please see very carefully every one of you. I will say here return this information. And as I have told, whenever you have a return statement, you cannot write void here. Whatever type of data you're returning, that is what you have to give. Since I'm returning string type of data, I'm returning this variable information. Inside this information variable, we have string type of data. So the return type must be string. Fine. Now I would like to just go here. And get some data. Okay. Since IT is more often the Spring classes, Spring Boot, and microservices at Telesco, and since IntelliJ IDEA is paid, I very often use Eclipse or Spring tool suite because I cannot force anyone to buy some license, right? They are already paying for the courses. So I'm little bit less familiar these days, especially the recent times I have used much of the Spring tool suite. So it's okay. ID should not be a matter of concern for any developer in that matter because the project structure is going to be same. You should be comfortable with any ID. Now guys, I have to invoke this method. I'll say p dot more info on course. Whenever you invoke a method which is accepting some parameter, you have to pass. I'm not sure about the price. I mean, right now, maybe some price I would like to add here. And there is some discount going on, some 10% or 20% off. Please just visit courses.tedisco.com to get these coupons, or you can find in the description. I will share more information. I'm passing some data here, and this time it is accepting and also giving you back some information. If you want, you can collect it back. Since it is giving me back something, I would like to collect within a variable called as more info. Whatever variable name you want, you can give. I will give the variable name as more information. Great. I would like to go here. I will say here, maybe system.out.println. I would like to just print whatever is there inside this more info. Great. Now, what we need to understand here is in Java, if you want, you can write a method which is accepting some parameter, accepting some data argument, doing whatever activity you want, and also whoever will invoke this method, whoever will call this method, for them, you're also giving back string type of data. I hope I'm making sense to everyone present here in the class. Right? It is giving back the data also. Fine. Now let me just go and run this program. If I have to just run this program, okay, I will say here run, and you can see FastTrack weekend spring batch starts from next weekend, and the fees is this. I know the fees might be higher or lower. So what I'm trying to say is we don't have the concept of functions. We have to use some keywords, unlike in Python and JavaScript. Java is very straightforward programming language. If you want to define some activity, if you want to write some code, you have to write within a method. And every method will have 4 things fixed, which is return type, name, parameter required, and the body of the method, the definition of the method, right? Definition of the method. And that method you can write in 4 different ways. I have defined all the 4 different ways of writing method here. Making sense? I'm talking about Spring 1 month course. Spring 1 month course is a paid course, a very less price. I'm covering all the concepts there. We are covering from absolute scratch. Why Spring Framework? To RESTful services, connecting to Redis server, right? Connecting to Kafka server, Redis server, batch processing, how to work with REST APIs, everything. And apart from that, Docker, microservices, Java, JUnit, SQL, JDBC, servlets, Hibernate will be given as a recorded course. Within 1 month, full day, morning 10 to evening 5, Saturdays and Sundays for 1 month, we will cover the entire spring batch. Okay. So you can just visit courses.telesco.com. You'll get the clarity on that. But now, I hope these fundamentals are clear, right? Okay. But there are some discounts. I think you can see in the comments or in the description for the coupons of that course. Those who are inquiring, especially the, I don't know what's your name. Okay, it's weird. All right, I hope you could able to understand about these fundamentals, guys. Now, quickly, I would like to just discuss quickly, very quickly, on the concept of method overloading. And once that is done, we shall start with the concept of encapsulation and inheritance. Very, very quickly, very quick. I would like to start with method overloading. Maybe in this example only, since we have less time, I would like to demonstrate. Method overloading means writing multiple methods with same name but different parameters, right? With different parameters. Maybe I'll do one thing. I'll go here and create a new class quickly within the same project without wasting a time. I'll give the method class name as method overloading. Method overloading as a class name. I'll say, okay, we do have this class available. Okay. I would like to just click remove this, and within this only I can write a main method. I don't want to create a new project because I will start the new project from the concept of encapsulation very quickly. I would like to start here. I'll say here main. I want the main method. All right. So great. Within this, maybe I'll do one thing. Yeah, let me create one more class here. This is main method class. I'll go here, or maybe I'll say here new class, Java class, maybe Calci. Quickly. Right. So we have seen 4 different ways to write the methods. I'll say here public integer type of add. I will say add quickly, please here. I will say integer type of number 1 comma integer type of number 2. All right. I'll go here. Within the body, I will say return number 1 plus number 2. Great. This method is responsible to add 2 numbers, and result it should return to whoever will call this method to them. Return type is there. That means whoever will invoke this method, for them, whatever is the result, that will be given back. So in Java, you can write multiple methods with same name, but different parameters. Example, this method is accepting three parameters, comma, integer type of number 2, integer type of number 3. What is the advantage of this? We shall discuss by default. I will say here, return number 1 plus number 2 plus number 3. Great. Return type has nothing to do with method overloading. It is all about name of a method and the parameters required, not the return type. It is not the name of a method. Since you are writing the return statement and you're returning integer type of data, you are writing int. Maybe if you don't write a return statement, maybe you are calculating and printing there itself, then it is void. It has nothing to do with method overloading. It is all about name and the parameters required. What is the significance? What is the advantage? We shall see here. Maybe I'll do one thing here. I'll go back and write one more method. I'll say public. Maybe I'll say here double type of, or maybe float type of, or double type of. I'll say here add integer type of number 1, integer type of number 1, comma, double type of number 2, and I'll go back here and say return number 1 plus number 2. Great. I will write one more method here. I'll go back, maybe one last method, and we are done. I'll say here double type of add. I will say here double type of number 1, comma, double type of number 2, comma, double type of number 3. That means this method is accepting you to pass some 3 arguments, and I will say here return number 1 plus number 2 plus number 3. With this, what I'm trying to say is, if someone want to add 2 numbers, they can invoke the method add. Now to add 2 integer numbers, to add 2 double numbers, to add 2 real numbers or 3 numbers, to add 1 integer and 1 real number, to add 3 real numbers, they need not to remember multiple method names. With just one method, I would like to save here and go back to my class where I have written the main method. I'll create the instance of calc here. I'll say here calc type c equals to new calc. All right, instance is ready. I'll say here, assume that I want to add 2 integer numbers. I need not to write the logic because developer number 2 has already coded within the calc. And my need is somewhere the situation came wherein I have to add 2 numbers. All right. So I'll say here calc dot add. Now guys, or maybe C is a reference variable. I'll say C dot add. Now whether I have to add 2 integer numbers, maybe I'll say here, since it has a return type, I would like to directly print it. I'll say here system.out.println, because all these methods are returning me some data. I can print. I'll say dot add. I will pass some number. Maybe I'll say here 10, 4. I want to add maybe 3 integer numbers. And whatever the method will give me back, I would like to print on my console. So directly I'm printing it. I will say c dot add, and maybe I would like to say here 10, 2, 4. And maybe I have a plan of adding 2 or maybe 1 real number and 1 integer number. And I want to print the result on the console. I will say here c dot add, and maybe I'll say here I'll pass the number 10, and then I will say here 4.4. Great. And I have a plan of adding maybe 3 real numbers. Real number means with decimal point. I'll say 4.4, 5.4, 6.4. So with this, what I'm trying to say is, of course, c dot add. I have to invoke the method and then only I can do that. Great. All right. With this, what I'm trying to say is, for me, whoever will invoke this method, for them, all right, so it should be comma. Okay. Whether I have to add 2 integer numbers, 2 real numbers, 3 integer numbers, 3 real numbers, I need not to remember multiple methods names. For me, whether if I have to add 2 integer numbers, I have to invoke the method add. If I have to add 3 real numbers, I have to invoke the method add. If I have to add 1 integer and 1 real number, I have to invoke the method add. If I have to add maybe 3 integer numbers, I have to invoke the method add. For me, I am in the illusion that one add method is overloaded with multiple tasks, but in reality one add method is performing only one concept. So what is the concept of method overloading? If you ask me, creating multiple methods in a class with same name but different parameters. Different parameters is only called as method overloading. But in reality, maybe the developer who is invoking this method, he might be in the illusion that one add method is overloaded with multiple tasks. If I have to add two integer numbers, I have to invoke the method add. If I have to add three integer numbers, I have to invoke the method add. If I have to add maybe three real numbers, add method. For me, from the perspective of main method, if you have to see that one add method is overloaded with multiple tasks, but in reality one add method is or not doing only one task. This is also called as false polymorphism. And this method overloading concept is also referred as compile time polymorphism. Why compile time polymorphism? Whenever you invoke the method at the compile time itself, compiler will resolve that for which method out of all so many add methods, which add method to be invoked. Example, the moment you say add, all the add methods of Calci will say, I am the add method, I am the add method. There are four add methods. All of them will raise the hand. Tell me what should we do? Then I will give the second information. I want such a add method which will accept two information. Then only these two methods will be active. Okay, we are the one who will accept two integer, not two number of parameters. Tell me what we have to do. Then I will give one more information. I want such a add method which is accepting two arguments, but both of them should be of integer type. So this method is the one who is accepting two number of arguments, both of them are integer type. So this will be resolved at the compile time itself. Compile time itself. So only we also call it as compile time polymorphism. Polymorphism means one is to many. One thing is doing multiple tasks, but this is false polymorphism. We also call it as virtual polymorphism, false polymorphism. What is true polymorphism? Real polymorphism, we will see in the method overriding. This is overloading. Fine. So the concept is very simple here. Its same concept goes with the C++. If you are from the C++ background, the concept of method overloading is same as C++. C++, Java, these languages, some of the concepts are same. Okay. So syntax is also same, in fact, in C++. So what I'm trying to say is, in a class in Java, you can write multiple methods with same name but different parameters, and this is called as method overloading. The advantage is, when you're going to invoke that methods for different activities, you need not to remember multiple method names. If you want to add two numbers, three numbers, four numbers, you just have to invoke the method add. That's the advantage of this. Making sense, every one of you? Yeah. So there is a question, what are you going to cover in this? As we have discussed, today we will cover encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, interfaces. Tomorrow we will cover exception handling, collection, stream API, annotation. That will be covered in tomorrow's class. In today's class, we will cover till interfaces. So this is about the concept of inheritance. Now let's quickly get into the concept of encapsulation and constructor, and we shall start the journey of this thing. Okay. All right, guys. So let me just create a new project here. I will say I need to have a new project. The project name, I'll give it as encapsulation very quickly. And I would like to just create this project. Maybe this window or a new window, not a problem. Let me create on this window itself. We have a project encapsulation. All right. Okay, let me do one thing here. There is some issue here. Okay. Let me just go here. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me save it. There's no problem. Let me just run the program, current file, and we should be getting it hello world. Yeah, hello. Everything's working fine here. See, we are getting hello world. It's not a problem. All right. Okay. Where is the error? Okay. I'll go back here. I'll go back to my source. All right. And also, guys, encapsulation constructor quickly, and then we'll have a small break and start the concept of inheritance and polymorphism. Okay. Inheritance maybe, and the second half, polymorphism and abstraction, we will see to it. Okay. So now the concept of encapsulation. What is that concept here? I'll right click, create a new Java class. Whatever the class name you want, you can give. I'll give the class name as student, employee, whatever you want. I would like to go with, say here, student. Great. You can create the class, no problem. And I'll do one thing. I'll define some properties of a student. I will say integer type of age is one property of the student. I will say string type of name is one more property of a student. Great. Not at all a problem. And I will define some task which student might carry out. I'll say here public void. I'll say here activity or task which students will usually carry out. Student behavior. I will say a student behavior. Whatever method name you want, you can give. I'll give it as student behavior. All right. Pardon the spellings. I hope this is you're here to understand what you call the. All right. Okay. Behavior. I think we were correct there. Okay. Fine. I will just display something here. Some activity, not s out. It is s out. I would like to just print one message here that student usually lacks focus while learning tech. Not all the students, just some message I'm printing randomly. Okay, some activity is there. Great, not a big problem. All right, there is some project problem in the project itself, I guess, because it is creating some issues. No problem. Let's see if it is running fine or not. I would like to go to my main class and I would like to just create the instance object. Both of them are referring to same. I'll say student type of st equals to new student. After which I'll say here st dot. I would like to invoke the behavior of a student, and let me run the current file here. Okay. It's ID issue because we are getting the result here. See, output is working. Ignore the whatever warnings you are getting. For now, we are getting this behavior. Great. Student usually lacks the focus. Of course, there is some spelling mistakes. Let me just correct that. I will say here. Okay, fine. Great. Or maybe I'll give some important message. That's fine. Now, guys, I'll go back here with a student. I'll say st dot. I can invoke these variables also. They're called as instance variable, object variables, fields, properties. Whenever you create variables directly within a class, these variables can be accessed anywhere in the class, outside the class with the reference variable of this particular object, anywhere. And these variables directly within a class, when you create, we call them in different names. We call them as instance variable. We call them as object variable because object and instance, both of them are same. A creation of object, creation of instance, object creation. Technical name is instantiation. Oh, very heavy name, right? Which looks cool. Please perform instantiation. Oh my God, something very big. It's nothing that please create the object of a class. Both of them are same. Great. Now this is called as instance variable, object variable. We also refer this as fields, properties. Whenever someone says properties, fields, instance variables, object variables, all of them are referring to same. Fine. Now these variables outside the class using the reference I can access. You can see I can access. I can pass some data also. I'll say here age maybe, I'll say here 16. Right? I'll say st dot maybe name. I would like to give the name, whatever name you feel like. I would like to give the name as maybe Prakash. Whatever name you feel like. Making sense? And now I would like to just print and check really these things is getting printed or not. I'll say system dot out dot not sysout in IntelliJ IDEA. It is system dot out dot println. I want to print some message. Age is, and let me print here. I will say here age. I would like to just go down. I will say system dot out dot. Oh my God, sysout. It's Eclipse and IntelliJ IDEA. I'm sorry, the STS. Okay, I'll say your name is. I would like to go here and plus I'll say your name. Maybe I'll give a different message here. Need to focus to master any skills. Focus is the key. Remember that point. Okay. I would like to just save this. Great. I'm printing it. What is there inside this variable? What is there inside this? Am I setting anywhere? Am I assigning any value within the student class? Anywhere am I assigning to the age what we have to give, to the name what we have to give? The answer is no, we are not assigning. I'll go back to the main and I have assigned from here, right? And now I'm invoking this method. I would like to just go and run this. If I have to run this, see here, age is 16, name is Prakash. So with this, what I'm trying to say is, can you invoke the instance variables directly outside the class with a reference variable? And can you assign the data? Yes, we can assign that. We can do that. And it is not good. Whenever you write any of the properties, they are the actual data of this class and you should provide the security. You should restrict the access, direct access to the outside of the class. What if someone gives here, maybe I'll say here minus 18. Can age be minus 18? Is it even logical? They're giving minus 18. They have freedom. They have accessed the instance variable and they're giving whatever value they feel like. I would like to go and run. You can see the age is minus 18. Is it even logical? No, right? Because there is no security to this instance variable. Whoever wants, they are just taking the reference of this. They are invoking this variable and assigning whatever value they feel like. It is not recommended. So whenever you have the properties, they are the most important component of a class. The most important. Everything revolves, every method, every behavior, every logic you write based on the data members, based on this itself. And if this is not secure, then there will be issue. For which we have one keyword in Java which is private. The moment you make them private, they can be accessed anywhere within the class, but outside the class, if someone tried to access, it will create an issue. Let me just go and save this. The moment I save here, I'll say private. I'll go back here and you cannot access. See, we are getting one error here. See, red line. All the IDs has the auto compilers, Eclipse ID, IntelliJ, Spring Tool Suite, all of them has the auto compilers. And since they have auto compilers, automatically the code will be compiled and we are getting compile time error here. See, we are getting two errors here. You can see here. Age has the private access. You can see here. And the name also has the private access. That means directly you cannot access it. Directly outside the class, you cannot access it. And this is gone. You cannot do that here. I have commented. But the requirement is someone from the outside the class, they have to set values to these variables. Maybe outside of the class, someone I'm expecting, I have written the code, I want someone to pass the value. What to do? For which write a method. How to write a method? I'll say here public. I will say maybe void. Whole purpose of this method is to set the data to this age variable. I'll give the method name as set age. Whenever you are writing any activity, give the name of a method based on what activity you are carrying out inside this method. Inside this method, I will accept integer type of age, and whatever age I am receiving, I will take it and give back to the variable which I have within me, which is age. Fine, I'm assigning it. And same goes for the name. I will say here public. I will say void. I'm not going to do anything here. I will just set the name. I will say here string type of name. And within this method, whatever name I'm receiving from my end user, I will take this and give it to my instance variable which I have created. You can see. In this case also they can give some other data, right? I can say here maybe st.set and I can pass whatever data. I can pass minus 18 also. However, this is a method. If such things comes, no, you have an access to do whatever you want. I can write some business logic here. I can say if the age is more than 0, only then I will assign the value. If it is not more than 0, I will say here else I would like to just give one message here system.out.println. I will say here invalid data. System.out.println. I will say here maybe invalid input. Whatever you want, you can give invalid. That means it is a method. If you want, you can control, you can write some logics also here, right? You are just giving the control access. You are not giving the direct access here. Age equals to age. Great. See here, if maybe from this class, I want to set some value to the variables. I cannot directly say dot name because I don't have access here. That is private now. That can be accessed within the same class. But we have an option by invoking some methods to set the value. Maybe I'll set the value here. I will say whatever name you want randomly. I'll say here Prakash. I'm setting the value here. I'll say here Prakash behavior. All right, I would like to just give the same name, behavior. Okay, behavior. I would like to just remove this. Great. See, I've just called a setter and I have passed the value. Making sense? And I'm going to receive that value and assign. But there is one problem here. If I have to go back here and run this class, if I have to run this, you can see we are not getting it. See, age is 0, null. Why? Because this problem we refer as shadowing problem. Whenever the local variable and instance variable is name is same within a setter, this is called as setter method, a method whose whole purpose is to receive the data and set to this instance variable. The whole purpose of this method is to receive the data from outsider and assign to my instance variable, to my data member. Since the purpose of this method is to set value to the data members, we refer such methods as setter methods, right? And whenever the instance variable value is same as the local variable value, then the problem of shadowing comes into picture. Java compiler will be in confused state that which value where to assign, for which to the instance variable you can attach one keyword called as this dot. That means this is the reference, this is the instance variable. That's the meaning of it, this dot. What is the real significance of this keyword? I will talk right now in some moment. I would like to just save this. I'll go back here. I would like to just save this. Now if I just have to set this value, you can see whatever data you have passed, that data will be there. I would like to just run this again. You can see here. Making sense? So can we access the value from outside the student class? No, you cannot access. You cannot access. If I say here s out, maybe I want to print. What do you want to print? I will say inside the student we have an age, please print. No, the age is only not coming up. See, it is a private. See, age has a private access. You cannot use it. Now I have to make an arrangement. If someone outside the class want this data, whatever data I have written, maybe they want to use it. So I will, since I have made it private, they cannot directly access. I'll make an arrangement for them. I will say here public int is a type of get age. That means the whole purpose of this method is to give whatever data is there inside this age variable. Since the whole purpose is to return the data to the outsider, we call this method as getter. This is also a method only, but based on the purpose of the method, we have a concept of setters and getters, right? I'll go back here. I'll say public. I will say here string type of get name, and within this, I would like to, all right. So let me just get it here. Fine. All right. Fine. I'll just go here and say return name. Great. Now maybe I want to know what data is there inside the age or name. What data we have. For which I'll say st dot get age. I'll say here if you want you can collect it back and then print. Maybe I'll say int is a type of age and then I will print it, or directly you can print. The whole purpose, if it is just to print something, then you can directly only print. Maybe if you have a plan of doing something with the age after getting it, you can collect in a variable. If not, if you have a plan of just printing on your console, then why to create a variable and waste the time? Directly I will say here, please print what to print. Invoke this method get name. Whatever data it will give you, print on my console. That's the meaning of it. I'll say here, I'm printing it right now. Please see this, I'm printing it. This is coming because I'm printing there within a class. But this is something, it is happening because of the getters. This is because of getters. And this is because the remaining part is because of this behavior. So encapsulation refers to a process of making data members private, providing security to the data members, or you can say providing the controlled access to the data members of a class. And it can be achieved using private keywords, setters and getters. Setters are the methods responsible to set value to it. Getters are the method which is responsible to get the value to the outside of the class. For me, if I want to set values, I will invoke this method. For me, it is a setter. If I want to get the value, what is there inside this, I will invoke this method. For me, it is a getter method. It is giving me something. So only the name setter and getter here. Also, we have different definitions for encapsulation, binding data members and setters and getters, or binding data members and methods. Here, this data members, this instance variables and these methods are working together. They are working together. So binding them together, making them to work together as one unit can also be called as encapsulation. Different names are there. Fine. So setter methods, what do you mean by getter methods? I hope you could able to understand, through which you can set the value, through which you can get the value. Great. And what is the significance of this keyword? This keyword has the address of currently running object. What do you mean by that? You can create multiple objects of same class in Java. Example, we have one class. I have created one object here. If you want, you can create multiple objects. I'll go back here. I'll do one thing. All right. So let me just, I'll create one more object. There is no problem in that. Java allows you that. I'll say here one more object. And maybe I'll say here st dot set age. Age maybe I'll say here 20. And I will say here st dot set name. Whatever name you feel like you can give. I will give here as Paras. Any random name. And I want to get the value. I want to know what data is there. I'll say st dot get the age. Whatever it will give me, I want to print on my console. I'll say system dot out dot println. Please print on the console. What to print? I will say here st. Of course, I'll give the name as st2 because same reference variable is already there. This is student2. I'll say student2 dot get me the name and get me the age. I will say here system dot out dot println. What to print? st2 dot get as like please. This errors ignore, guys. This is not errors. It's a problem of ID. Maybe if someone from the JetBrains team, the owners of IntelliJ, if they are watching this series, there is some bug in your IDs. Please rectify because the program is working fine. Unnecessary, we are getting these red lines and warnings. It's a problem of ID. Okay, everything is smooth. There is no error here. Calling the setters, it's not an error. It's a problem of ID. If someone from the IntelliJ idea team, not JetBrains team, if you're looking at, please rectify the bug. Okay, thank you. Now maybe some mistake, maybe I'm not able to use it properly. It could be my problem also, I'm not sure, but looks like ID problem. I'd like to just go here and just give one differentiating factor here just to have differentiating, and I would not like to invoke this method. Great. And now let me just run this. I would like to just run this. If I have to run this, see, I'm getting it. See.
Okay, this is my machine, and yeah, there are some issue with the IDE. So normally I do a lot of experiments with the IDE, and I might have changed something which is affecting this.
Ignore for now, guys. I mean, this should not be a problem. Okay. So we are getting the results. As long as we are getting the results, you should ignore it.
Things are looking good. Yeah, this is the IDE issue which I was getting a lot of time.
It's just there are 4 errors. Ignore it for now. Yeah, this is usual. Anyone, you can also come across with this, and it's a responsibility of the ID developers that they should resolve these issues. If I'm getting, you might also get it. Okay, so
Make it work in the
okay, we'll see after the break. We will see to it. So this is a concept of encapsulation. Great. And we do also have a concept of constructor. Directly with at the time of creation of the object, you can set the values. This is actually a call to a constructor. Constructor means same name as that of the class name. Same name as that of the class name, which does not have any return type. I'll say public. Name of the class is same. It does not have any return type. And see here, I would like to just go here, sys out, and I will just print. Maybe here object is getting created. I'll say student object is created. Oh my goodness. I'll go back here. I would like to just add it here. Great. So I'm creating 2 instances here. This is also object creation. This is also an object creation. And 2 times I'm calling a constructor which is having 0 parameters. Is having 0 parameters. I would like to run this program. You can see you will get this message 2 times. If I have to run this, You can see student object created, student object created. So whatever message we had within this, it was getting printed 2 times because 2 times I'm creating it. This is a constructor. With the help of constructor also, you can set the values. I'll go here. I'll accept. It's like a specialized setter whose name is same that of a class name. I accept your integer type of age and string type of name. And I would like to go here and say this dot age equals to age which I am receiving. And I'll say here this dot name equals to name, okay, which I am receiving from the end user. Great. So now I would like to go to my main class, and I will not be passing through the setters this time. Let me comment this out. I would like to comment this, and here also I would like to comment these two methods. I would like to comment it, and at the time of object creation only I will set the value. I will say 18. I will say here Prakash, and I will say here maybe, I don't know, some other name, random name. I would like to just go here and say maybe Harsh. All right, great. Now guys, at the time of instance creation itself, I am passing the arguments. It is like a specialized setter whose name is same that of the class name, and this is called as the concept of constructor. And constructor is invoked at the time of object creation. The concept of constructor, guys. Immediately after this, I'm going to start the concept of inheritance. Inheritance is one of the most important topic. Inheritance, and we will be left out with polymorphism, abstraction, and the interfaces. All right. So inheritance is what we need to discuss immediately after this. So it's same name that of the class name. Fine. So creating multiple constructors with same name, different parameters within one class is referred as constructor overloading. In our core Java classes, we teach that in depth because in Telesco, we have taken the Java classes also for 2 months, for 4 months. In fact, 2 years back, we ran a batch of Java which we have taken only core Java for 5 months. So what we are trying to say is we can teach Java in depth for 5 months also, 2 months also. But right now, we are just trying to give you a brush up of Java before you making it to Spring Boot batch, which we are starting from next weekend for 1 month. Okay. So quickly, we are just giving you an idea that how things works in case of Java. Great. Now quickly, let's understand this keyword. What is this keyword? This keyword has the address of currently running object. Right now, how many objects I am creating? 2 objects. So if you say st.set age, this will have address of that object. So what happens here is, so let me just share you the, okay, all right, and for them I would like to just go back, right, so yeah, both of them. So what happens here is, all right, how do we get the next page? Okay, we have got it. All right, see, you should be knowing it that behind the scene within the JVM, we have many runtime data areas, and one of the runtime data area happens to be the heap area. JVM is the one who executes Java program, and for the execution, JVM uses some of the areas. Whenever objects gets created now, the memory will be allocated on the heap area. Example, we are creating the object of student. For the first time when the student object got created, on the heap area, JVM will create the object. Every object will have some address. I'll assume the object of address is A, B, C, D. And within this, whatever instance variables are there, no memory will be allocated. Age, the default value, age is of integer type, the default value will be 0. And name is of string type, the default value is null. And for this object, you are creating the reference variable, right? The reference variable is st1 is what you have created. St, what is the reference variable for this object? St has the address of this object, which is A, B, C, D. In other words, st is referring to this. Great. Then what did you say? St dot set age. You have invoked this method. You have passed some data. And within this method, you have told this dot age equals to age. This age is the parameters and that you are assigning to this. This keyword right now has the address of currently running object. Currently at that particular moment, if I have to show here, okay. All right. So let me just show my IDE here. All right. Okay, fine. Please here, I'm telling here st dot set age. I'm invoking set age method. Great, you are invoking, that's correct. By using the reference variable of st, the currently running object is this. So this keyword now will have address of currently running object. So in that regard, what I'm trying to say is, this will have address of currently ABCD. It is referring to this object. This dot age means it will set for whatever age you are passing to this variable. This dot name means it will set that name here, whatever name you are passing. After which you are creating one more object. So one more object on the heap area is getting created. I'll assume the address is MNOP. Again, in that object, memory for age is there and memory for name is also there. All right, great. And reference variable you have created is st2, which will have address of this. Now again, if you say st2.setAge, st2.setAge, setAge method is called. Inside the setAge method, this dot is there. Now this will have address of this MNOP. So this is referring to this object number 2. So whichever object currently getting executed, this will have the address of that object. Okay, so let me go here. You can see here, I'm invoking one more object, right? st2.setAge. That means currently setAge is running for object number 2. So this keyword inside this will have address of object number 2. Fine. So it defines currently which object is getting executed. So you have invoked this method by using reference of st, which is object 1, or reference of s2, which is object 1, no, object 2. So if you have invoked this method using the st2, that means currently object number 2 is getting executed. That is the meaning of it. Fine, all of you present in the class. So that's about the this keyword, constructor and encapsulation for very quickly. Now we need to understand the concept, a very much important concept. Once you get into the, you know, concept of spring, usually whenever we have covered so many spring batches from past 2 years at Telesco, and we have asked one question to our learners after completing at least 10-15 classes of spring, that how important core Java is. They will say it is 100% important. If by chance, if you don't know Java fundamentals, inheritance, abstraction, polymorphism, then spring you'll not understand anything. If you want to learn spring, then these things are very, very crucial. And now we shall understand the concept of inheritance. Very quickly, what is this concept all about? And followed by, we shall understand the concept of polymorphism, or runtime polymorphism. And then we will see about two things. One is abstract class. We shall understand about abstract class, followed by interface. If time permits, we shall discuss lambdas. If there is no time, we shall see that tomorrow. These topics we have to see. Inheritance, polymorphism, maybe what's the time right now? It's 12. Alright, so maybe inheritance and polymorphism before the break, and then after the lunch we shall discuss the other topics, followed by lambda expression. We shall see till when we can take it. Let's take quickly 1-2 minutes of time, and we shall just get back to it. Alright, so Fine. So we are back. I think we have half an hour time as per what I have been told. Okay. So what we are going to discuss here is we have lunch break after 30 or 40 minutes of time. So we shall discuss about inheritance. If you know inheritance, only then you can understand polymorphism, abstract class, interfaces. Suppose if someone says that I don't know polymorphism, abstract class, interface, collection, exception handling, they can never understand Spring Framework. And to understand polymorphism, abstract class, and interface, the prerequisite is inheritance. They are above the layer of inheritance. So the major base prerequisite for the rest of the Java concept is inheritance. That is what we need to understand here. So I don't want to give any theoretical explanation on the inheritance. I would like to just go to the IDE. Let me just open my IDE. Okay. And I would like to create a new project here. I'll say new project. The project name, I would like to give it as inheritance. Directly with the code, since we have less time, no theoretical explanation, directly we'll jump into the code and understand what inheritance is. And also in our spring upcoming course also, the 95% focus will be on the practical aspect of Spring Boot framework. So we will try to understand maximum concept by writing down the code, because anyone and everyone can become developer by either reading the code or writing the code, not by understanding. Understanding plays a very very important role, no doubt about this. But according to me, it's 30-40% is about the understanding, 60% role is about how much code you write. The more code you write, the better developer you are. And by keeping that in our mind, so more focus will be given on writing down the code and understand how things works. And let's start this journey here also, right? So inheritance, I'll say create one project. Maybe I'll open a new window to avoid the issues and errors we had there earlier. All right, great. So this is our classes and fine. Alright guys, I hope my screen is visible on Zoom and on the YouTube both. Alright, great. Now I would like to go to my source. I'll create some two classes. Right? Whatever classes you want, you can create. It should not create any problem. Maybe to start with, I'll create a class called as Telescope. Any class, great. Within Telescope, I will write one method, public void display, some activity, some information I would like to give within this. I will say here system.out.println. I would like to just print. I will say here Telescope has both whatever information, live and recorded courses. Some information I am displaying. Display information is the method name about the Telescope. Telescope has both live and recorded courses. I would like to say here visit telescope.com. Telescope.com. Some information. Great. I'll create one more class here. One more class. Very interesting. Please focus here. The class name I'll give it as alien. Alien, why? If you have been following Telescope from longer time, you must be knowing it. Why alien, right? So all of you are aliens according to the Telescope sir, Navin sir. Okay, we have two classes here guys. One is alien class we have, one is Telescope class we have. Two classes. Are they anywhere related? Alien and Telescope in general, outside the scope of the code, they are related. If you are following the Telescope channel, I'm not talking about that relation. With respect to the code which I have written right now on your screen, which you can see, are they anywhere related to each other? The answer is no. I'll go back to my main class. I'll go back to my main class. I will just say here, Arbaz says no. Others also please make it more interactive here. I will say here, object of alien I will create. Alien type A, alien equals to new alien. Create. I have created the instance of alien object. I've created the instance of alien class. Great. I will say here alien dot display info. Display info. I'm getting one compile time error here. The Java compiler is mad at me. It cannot resolve this. Like, what? Inside the alien, do we have a class display information, guys? Do we have a class here with display information? Amulya says, how can I find notes and this course? You can just visit telesco.com. There is one course available. You can find in the description the link. This is free course. You can register and you can access the code files, board work, all the recordings for you. Free of cost. Visit the platform, telesco.com, or the link on the description. Okay. Now, do we have any method here, guys? There is no method. And of course, Java compiler is right. Is like, are you mad? If there is no method here, how can you invoke that? It's not there here. Great. Now, one thing I would like to do here, I will say here, extends telescope. Extends telescope. One extra piece of code I have written, extends telescope. I'll save it. Did I hard coded any method display information? Did I hard coded anything? Nope. I have not written it yet. I have just told extends telescope. I'll go back to the main method. You can see error is resolved. And if I have to run this, code, on your console, Telesco has both live and recorded courses. Visit telesco.com. Are you getting this message? Did I write a code display information inside the alien? The answer is no. And this is the concept of inheritance, which promotes code reusability. You're writing the code once. Same code is getting reused inside the alien also. Inheritance is the process of one class acquiring the properties and behavior of one more class. I have not written anything here. The moment I say extends, inside the telescope class, whatever properties, whatever methods you have, all of them as it is will get inherited in the alien. From your naked eyes, you cannot see anything here from your eyes. But behind the scene, whatever code was there inside the telescope, same code is present in the alien also, because you have told extends telescope. This is the concept of inheritance. Inheritance refers to the process of one class acquiring all the properties and behavior of one more class. You have told here, please get me all the properties and methods of telescope class. So whatever code was there in the telescope class, as it is, copy and paste it inside this class. From your eyes you cannot see, but behind the scene, the display info method is available here. Making sense? And whichever class is acquiring the behavior of one more class can be called as child class, subclass, derived class. Different names we call them as. Child class is same as subclass, is same as derived class. Different technology, different terms we use here, but all of them are referring to same. From whichever class I am taking, from telescope class I am acquiring everything inside this class, then telescope class we call it as parent class, super class, base class. You can say base class, you can say super class, you can say parent class. Very often term which we use is parent and child. Now, one of the Pawan says, what is the importance of inheritance? The first and the major importance here is code reusability. Pawan, tell me one thing. In Telesco, I have written this code. Did I write that inside the alien? No, right? I have not written. But you can see from the main method, I am using the reference of alien. I am invoking this method. Am I able to invoke? Yes. If I am able to invoke, that shows that method is available here. So you have written code only once, and you are able to use that for multiple times. Inheritance promote code reusability. As we progress, you will understand the real case also. Real case, once you understand polymorphism and abstraction also, how they are interlinked with each other. For now, A for apple. What happens here? How to achieve inheritance? By using the extends keyword. Whichever class is acquiring the properties and behavior, that class is called as subclass or child class. From whichever class you are taking the things, that class is called as parent class or super class. Fine. About one. Point number 2 about inheritance. I'll say here maybe integer type of age. Great. Did I write any age here? No, I have not written. I will say here public, maybe void something, set age or something I'll write here. Okay, I will say here age info. I will say here age equals to maybe 18. I'm able to access. Suppose this age is not there here, I will not include. Directly, if you create a variable age, I'm getting one error here. What is age? Java is a statically typed programming language, strongly typed programming language. You have to specify the type of data when you are creating the variable. Like, where is the type? What is that? Just age? Please write integer, float, what type of data you are going to store there. Correct? But the moment I have told here, integer type of age, there's no problem. Age gone. That means behind the scene here also age is there. So what did I say? The moment you say extends, right, all the properties and methods will get inherited here. So from your eyes you cannot see, but whatever code is there, this code is present in the alien class also. Point is clear. Second point which I would like to highlight here is private members of a class will not participate in inheritance. What do you mean by that? If I make it private, this will not get inherited. I have made it private and I'm getting error here immediately. Why? Private. Age has the private access. To support the concept of encapsulation, they have made this rule. Second point, private members of a class will not participate in inheritance. That point you must be knowing it. I'll say here, private members will not get inherited. This is very, very important point. Fine. Great. Now I would like to just go and create one more class here. Maybe the class name, I'll give it as whatever class name you want. You can say, I will say Java course or something which is around the Telesco we have, alien we have. So I would like to go and create Java course. Any class names should not be a problem. For now, I'll take some other examples also to start with. I will say here extends alien. See guys, alien is extending Telesco. So whatever was there in Telesco, that got except private members. Except private members, all the methods got inherited in the alien. Great. So alien already have one more method and this method, totally two methods. And you have told Java course extends alien. This is called as multi-level inheritance. Java course is acquiring the properties from alien. Alien course is acquiring the property from the Telesco. So the grandparent for alien is, the Java course is Telesco. Telesco's direct parent is alien. Alien's direct parent is Telesco. And whatever was there inside the Telesco, all right, which this got inherited inside the alien. So from your eyes you cannot see, but it is there. And whatever is there here, that got inherited in the Java also. And from the eyes you cannot see, but in Java also we have a method display information. If you want, I can show you that. I will create the instance of Java course. I will say here Java course type Java equals to new Java course. Okay, I will say here Java dot, you can see display info. Did I write any display information inside the Java course? The answer is no. To the Java course it is coming from the alien. To the alien it is coming from the Telesco. So basically this is called as multi-level inheritance. One class acquiring the property from one more class, that class is acquiring the properties from one more class. And now one more very, very important point about inheritance you have to understand. What is that very important point is inheritance will not help you for multiple. That means multiple inheritance is not allowed here. What do you mean by that? I cannot say Java course extends alien, extends maybe Telesco at a time. Any class in that matter. Or maybe alien, comma Telesco. There is no syntax. One class cannot acquire properties from the multiple classes at once. That is not allowed. If you do so, you will be getting one error here. Cannot extend multiple classes. Here, cannot extend multiple classes. So in real life, can you claim that I have multiple fathers? Is it even possible? No, right? You have only one parent. Same goes here also. One class can have only one parent. You cannot have multiple parents. You cannot take the properties from two classes at a time. And this is called as multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance is not allowed in Java. And one why we Aditya says in the Zoom that it is diamond shaped problem. Why we call diamond shaped problem, you need to understand. Now guys, I'll go back to the main method. I will say here Java dot, if I say display find age info is fine, but are you able to see the methods here? Equals, hash code, get class, toString, notify all, wait, all these methods. Did I write that inside the alien? No. Did I write that inside the Java? No. Did I write this inside Telescope? No. Now remember this. For alien, who is the parent? Telescope. For Java, who is the parent? Alien. But for Telescope, did you define any parent? No. Whenever you write a class, if you don't define any parent, by default, that class is extending object class. Object is a parent of all classes in Java. It is a predefined class in Java. So whether you write or you see, I have not specified anything here. By default, this is a parent. So all the methods which are there inside this class got inherited here. So right now inside the Telescope class, we have this method, but we have all the methods from object also. And since alien is extending Telescope, so this method got inherited, and all the methods of object which is already there here, that also got inherited in the alien. And from there it inherited in the Java. So only you could able to see that multi-level inheritance is happening here. I hope you could able to understand here, right? So what I want to say here is, I would like to just go back here. Let me open this. Great. See here. Let me explain you the scenario here. We have two classes, right? We have one Telescope class. We have one Telescope class. We have one more class. I'll do one thing here. I would like to just go back to my IDE just to explain this. Great. I will say alien. Maybe I will not extend this to Telescope. If you don't extend this to Telescope, who's the parent for alien? Alien also the parent is object. Who's the parent for Telescope? If you don't specify, it is object. Java course is a parent. Alien is a parent. Fine. Now let me go back here and explain you the scenario. I would like to go here. We have Telescope class. We have alien class. And for which I have not given any parent. Explicitly, I have not specified who is the parent. If explicitly, if you have not specified, tell me one thing. Who will be the parent? Object. One parent can have multiple classes. For Telescope, the parent is object. For alien, the parent is object. And I have one more class here. The name of the class is Java course. And I cannot say Telescope is also my parent. Alien is also my parent. You cannot say that. It is not allowed. This concept is called as multiple inheritance. One parent can have multiple childs, like the way in the real world also one parent can have multiple childs, no problem, but one child cannot have multiple parent. Fine, this is not allowed. This is looking like a diamond, the hierarchy, the UML of this, and this is referred as diamond shaped problem also. One class cannot say this is also my parent, this is also my parent, he is also my father, he is also my father. It is even not possible in the real world also. Fine. No, this is not allowed. You cannot say a comedy of errors says that, can we say that Java codes have two parents, alien and Java? With the help of multi-level inheritance, yes. Because Java codes is extending alien. Alien is extending object. So all the methods of object came to alien, and all the methods which are there in the alien which got inherited to Java codes. Via it is possible, right? So in that regard, it is okay, but not in normally. Fine. So this is a multiple inheritance. Now let me see if you have understood or not. I will say here Java course is extending alien. Can we implement multiple inheritance using the interface? Alternate is available. Aziz says yes. Alternate is available. There is different Narayan Lakshmi. You will see that with respect to interfaces, that's possible. Now see, Java course is extending alien. I'll go to the alien. I will say here extends Java course. One day your father comes and say that you are my father, and you are fighting, no, you are my father, and your father is telling you are my father. Is it possible, guys? In real life, is it possible? The answer is no, it's not possible. In the programming also it is not possible, and this is called as cyclic inheritance. Cyclic inheritance is not allowed in Java. One class cannot extend one more class, and that class telling no, no, you are my parent, you are my parent. They are fighting with each other, and the cyclic inheritance is not allowed in Java. I hope you could able to understand. Fine. Now quickly, one more last topic, and we shall move towards the break, and then we shall start the journey of polymorphism, the most important concept. What is the topic right now I would like to discuss quickly is that those who are focusing, I hope they are able to understand. At the end of the day, it is a focus. Suppose we have one parent. Okay. We have one parent. We have one child. Okay. We have two classes. Or in general, real life also assume this is the case. Parents have few things. Parents has the height. Parents have maybe the eyes. You also got the height. You also got the eyes. Few things you have taken from the parent to your child. If your parents are short, you are also short. You cannot do anything about it. That means few behavior you got in you from your parent, and you cannot change about it. You cannot do anything about it. Few things you got it from your parents only. You got eyes from your parents, but maybe your girlfriend is not happy. You can put the lenses. Maybe the eye colors is brown or black, and your girlfriend wants pink eyes, blue eyes. We have an option of putting the lenses. That means few things we have got it to us from the parent, but as per the demand, as per the requirement of child, you can modify. Few things only child has, parent doesn't have. Maybe parent doesn't know how to swim. Child is a pro swimmer. Parent doesn't even know what is smoking, what is drinking. Child is a legend. So what I'm trying to say is few things only child has, parent doesn't have. Are things which you have got it from the parent to the child, and in the child you're not changing it. We call that as inherited methods. We call that as inherited methods. Are things you got it from the parent to the child, and as per the demand of child class, you have modified that. We call that as overridden methods. Overridden methods. Few things you have got it only in the child, which are not there in the parent. We call that as specialized methods. Specialized methods, specialized behavior. Making sense? With respect to the code, if I have to explain you, I would like to take one more example here. Let me just go back here and create a new class. All right. I'll give the class name as, okay, I'll say here launch inheritance 2. All right. Within this, I would like to have the main method also. I'll say main. I want to have main method. That's fine. I'll go back here and I'll create two classes within the same file. I'll say class parent. Okay, great. And I'll say class child. Right now, both of them are unrelated classes. There is no link between these two. After I'll go to my parent. Within the parent, I will write one method here. I'll say public, and maybe I'll say here void some behavior of your parent. Okay. Maybe parents are with good behavior, any activity, or maybe I'll say here parents are eating, some behavior. Okay, I will say here system.out.println, system.out.println. All right, let me go back here, system.out.println. I would like to say print, I'll say here parents are eating. Okay, I'll say here extends parent. The moment you say this, you know the concept of inheritance. Whatever method is there that got inherited here. From your eyes you cannot see, but do we have a method eating inside the child class? The answer is yes, we do have it. From your eyes you cannot see, but do we have a method called as eating inside this? Yes, we do have it. I have one more method here, public. I'll say void maybe crying. Okay, I will say here system.out.println. I would like to say here maybe parents do cry. And whatever body is there, I'm not happy with this. Guys, two methods are there. Since I have told extends, these two methods also got inherited here. From your eyes, you cannot see. But do we have two methods present inside this class? The answer is yes, we do have two methods. But I'm not happy with the body which parent has given for the method 2. I will say here, child cries loudly. That means after inheriting, do I have a privilege to change the body of a parent method? Yes, this is called as in overridden methods. If you're writing the method one more time, same method which was there in the parent class, one more time if you're writing, consider this as a overridden method. Now see guys, in the child class, did I write the eating method? No, I'm not writing. That means that method is there. But you want to keep the behavior. You want to keep the body which is there inside the parent eat method as it is in the child. So that is called as inherited method. You are writing this once again and giving your own body. That means you are overriding. This is called as overridden method. And I will write one more method here. I'll say here public void something. Maybe I'll say here smoking. I don't smoke, so I don't even know the spelling of smoking. So yeah. Right. So I would like to just go here and say system.out.println. I will say here child is smoking. Okay. Something. So now this method is there only in the child class. It is not there in the parent class. It's there in the child class. We call that as specialized method. Methods which got inherited from the parent, in the child you are not overriding. You are keeping that as it is, inherited method. Method which got inherited from the parent, but in the child class you are changing the body, you are changing the behavior. You are giving the behavior as to suit your requirement. That is called as overridden method. Methods which are there in the parent class, which are there only in the child class, which are not there in the parent class, we call that as the specialized method. I would like to go and create the instance of this. The last part of the discussion, I'll create the instance of child. And for the child instance, whenever you create the object, the reference, I'll give it as child. The type must be same as the object. Whatever is the type you give, it must be same as the object. But in one case, the type can be different. What is that one case? Either same as the object or parent of the object also you can specify. I can say a parent. You cannot write anything else. The reference type must be same as this or the parent of this. So who is the parent of child class? Parent. So I would like to give parent, no problem. This is called as upcasting. And the usage of upcasting, what is the use of this? If you want to ask me, the use of this spelling, use of this, you'll understand in the second half of today's discussion, which is a runtime polymorphism. I'll make sure that all of you are pro in polymorphism. You'll not have any issue on polymorphism. The real use of polymorphism also will say it. Okay. Now guys, using that reference, I'll say here child dot eating. It is an inherited method, right? Inside this eating which we have inside this, you are not overriding it. It is inherited method. I can say here child dot crying. That means using the reference of parent type. Can you access inherited methods of a child class? The answer is yes. Can you access the overridden method of a child class? The answer is yes. Can you access specialized behavior directly? The answer is no. Suppose guys, you are a parent. If you have got height of your parents in you, can they directly see you that you are of same height as them? Directly can they access that behavior which you have within you? You will say yes. Maybe you got eyes from your parents. Your parents' eyes is brown, your eyes also brown, but you have overridden, you have put the lenses. Can your parent access and see that you have put the lenses? The answer is yes. That means parents can directly see the inherited behavior which you have from them directly. They can see the overridden behavior which you have within you, which came from there, but later you have override. Later you have changed. They can access that directly. But if your parents, especially if you are from the Indian region, if directly comes and asks you that do you smoke, do you drink, will you say yes? Directly, if one day your father comes and asks you that do you smoke, do you drink, will you say yes? Can they access that directly? The answer is no. They cannot. I hope I'm able to convey. And if you say yes, you and me, all of us knows very well what will happen. So with this, what I'm trying to say is, with the help of parent reference to the child object, you can access inherited methods of child directly. You can access overridden method of child class directly, but not the specialized method. If I say here child dot, the specialized method we have is smoking, right? Okay, I cannot access directly. In the real life possible? No. In the programming also it is not possible. What to do? Then in that case you have to act like a child. Suppose your dad, your parents comes to you and acting like very friendly with you, and your dad gives you like, let's smoke together, I will not tell your mom, and he becomes a very friendly in nature with you. Then what will happen? You will expose your real behavior to your father. You will feel that your father has become very friendly with you, because he's not coming and trying to access your special behavior as a father. No, he's changing his behavior temporarily. He's acting like your sibling. He's acting like your friend. And politely is asking, do you smoke? Let's smoke together once. And very friendly manner. At that time, you will take that cigarette and you'll smoke, and your specialized behavior is now exposed. Similarly, directly as a father, if you come and try to act the special behavior of a child, not allowed. In the real world also not allowed. In the programming also not allowed. I will act like a child. I'll say here, oh, I know you are a parent. Right now you're trying to access specialized behavior. Don't act. Please act like a child. I will say it, act like a child. I will say here, change your behavior. Change your behavior. The moment I have changed this behavior, guys, the moment I have changed this behavior, see, I can access it. This reference is of parent type. Parent type temporarily changing the behavior to child type. Why? To access the special behavior. And this is only called as downcasting. Temporarily changing the behavior. Okay. Because of this we are getting, because we don't have this. I'm not running that. Let me open this. I would like to save this. Okay. I would like to just access this. Run this. Run as programs, and you can see. Okay, because we have one more class, guys. It is the issue with respect to that, not because of this. Okay, let me open this. You can see temporarily changing the behavior of parent type to the child type to access the special behavior. This temporary changing is called as downcasting. What is the use of downcasting? To access the special behavior of child class. And why are we creating parent type reference for a child type of object? If we don't create directly, we can access. What is the use of this? The use of this is where you have to understand the concept of runtime polymorphism, true polymorphism, real polymorphism, runtime polymorphism, true polymorphism, method overriding. That is one of the most important concept which we will see after the break. Yeah. Sir, teach has a relationship also. There is a request from the Vishnu Shankar Sharma. Let's do that also. This is one of the most important. And maybe in the has a relationship, you'll understand the real use of polymorphism and inheritance, for which you should know interfaces concept and polymorphism concept. So after the break, the first focus will be given on the polymorphism and interface abstract class. If there is a time, then has a relationship, the real use of polymorphism, you will see how the real time development will happen. I will try to show you. But about the inheritance, whatever I have discussed, I hope you could able to understand, everyone in the class, those who are focusing, that what is the meaning of inheritance. I hope you could able to complete this on time. After the break, one of the most important topic we shall discuss is on polymorphism, interfaces, and if time permits, as per the request, the concept of association, the concept of has a relationship is also I am going to discuss quickly within the time limit, because usually in our live class I take inheritance for 3-4 days. I could able to explain you inheritance in 20 minutes, right? So by keeping the time constraint also I have discussed. I hope you could able to understand, and more on this in the next half we shall be seeing it. All right. So thank you for joining today, and we shall meet after the break. Okay. All right, let me just get it. Yeah, we shall be meeting it after the break of maybe 1 hour. From 1:30 again, the session will go till 4 o'clock. Concepts which we will be discussing after the break is polymorphism, the runtime polymorphism, abstract class, interfaces. They are the most important topics for the Spring Boot framework. Fine. So do you have timetables, sir? How many days will the course will be? Today and tomorrow, Vivek. Today and tomorrow is the timetable. All right. So you can get the Shrana is asking where can I get the recordings? You will get in the course dashboard. You have to join. There is a free course, FastTrack Java course. You can enroll for that course free of cost. You need not to pay anything. All the recordings will be uploaded in that, and you'll have access of code files, board work, everything. Okay, now. So you need not worry on this. Great. Fine, guys. Thank you again for joining me in today's class. We shall meet second half with the concept of polymorphism. Thank you, guys. Can you show a little example of hazard relationship? Arbaz and we are having the request for the hazard relationship that can be understood after the concept of interfaces only. So polymorphism, abstract class, interface, if time permits, hazard relationship today or tomorrow morning. All right, guys. Thank you again for joining. Okay.
Yeah. See you in the second session, everyone, which will be around 1:30, exactly 1 hour from now. Bye bye.